But I'm going to introduce someone who I've grown very fond of and have seen his leadership grow in ways that I respect and admire beyond any other. In fact, that leadership, I didn't know his father well, but his name is well known in this community as one who was a great leader of this community, Dr. John B. Coleman. And when I met Garnett first, I guess it was probably about 20 or so years ago, a few blocks down from here on Scott Street. So it's funny that we're back at Scott Street. But back then we were drinking. Yeah, it was a little bar down the street called Frederick's, and that was Garnett's bar. Yeah. But back then I think back then we were all very young, optimistic, had great dreams and hopes of what was possible for this neighborhood. And it's very fitting now that to come back here, right near Scott Street, some 20 years later, with myself, being founder of Project Row Houses, doing the community-based work that we're doing, but with Garnett being not only a community leader, but also leading us in the State House, and also making things possible to happen here in this community to make sure that the people that live here on this in these units have a place to live in 3rd Ward. To keep some continuity in 3rd Ward, to make sure that it's not one of those places that just get completely gentrified and all of the people that normally live here have been moved out. And so I've had the opportunity now also to see Garnett on a national level with a foundation that I've been working with in New York, and every time I go up there, they're keeping an eye on him about the things that he says that are so wonderful about housing, about culture, about preservation, and I was glad to know that people nationally are taking note of the work that he's doing here. So I'll give you today Garnett Coleman.
These things have been a long time coming, and some things are more difficult to do than others. But when you have committed people who believe that change in a community should happen, and that the community also should be representative of what it's always been, that's what makes something like this possible, because people have to have energy, and there also has to be money, because these boards cost money, and that's where the Midtown Redevelopment Authority comes in, and our chair, Bob Sellingslow, is standing over there, and Executive Director Matt Thibodeau, and Todd Edwards, who runs the Affordable Housing Initiative. What's important about that, and you'll hear from Dave later, but what's important about that is you actually can make change. The one thing that we did that was unconventional, and I'm going to use this moment to talk about it, is that Midtown Redevelopment Authority has banked land. And we banked land with the idea that you could build structures like this on it, and you could build these infill. Of course, it's better to have 4 or 5 together, but you can build an infill. So that's the reason for partnering with Project Row Houses, because of their partnership with the Rice Design Alliance. Because they knew what exactly should happen. And as Candy knows, it's real important to understand that the neighborhood looked like the neighborhood. Right, Charles? And so the design is a modern riff, like the riff on a shotgun house, but it has all the modern accoutrements. So it's my pleasure to be here today, and thank you for coming out to help with the revitalization of the community. Like I said, some things go slow, but they do happen. They do happen. So thanks for your patience. And so I guess we're going to start on the next block. Yep. Okay, so we're going to start on the next block.
Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dave Edwardson. I'm the chair of Affordable Housing Committee for Midtown, and a vice chair of Midtown Redevelopment. let me just say that Representative Coleman is a little modest about how this all started. I'm just going to let you know. Midtown, part of its covenant says there's so much that we would take from tax dollars increments and put toward affordable housing. As it turned out, Midtown, I think you all are aware of Midtown. And Midtown is a place where you can't build affordable housing because you don't have the land to build it on. And so when we were faced with that, Representative Coleman, who also served with our board, and I want to say thank you, because it's a good legislative district, you can have someone appointed. But he actually worked with us, and so getting in the trenches to go downtown and take his representative seat to work with then the mayor, to say, what can you do with this? And actually crafting something, because what you see here is not just something like row house, CDC, it's just doing this. Part of the crafting of that was to say, in Third Ward, when we bought land for housing, we would join partnerships with CDCs that are from that community and make efforts so that people out of that community would also benefit from the development itself. And so that took an awful lot of work. And so Representative Coleman, thank you. So, with the Midtown Redevelopment Authority, we want to say thanks so much to Row House CDC because it took some effort. And I just want to say to who always, to me, seems like he always has some project on his mind or something to move. And so I ain't gonna use me now. I wish I could have called him back and
But what I didn't say is when you had that exhibit on the handball court at SAFE, and I actually went to it. I mean, I'd say actually, I would walk out of the car, walk away.
It was the row house board and the row house CDC members really worked with to make sure it was happening. And so we want to say thank you. So for Midtown Redevelopment board members, I see our board chair. You want to say hello to them? And so our board members